gonna tell you that I love you 100 times a day. You'll get tired of my voice, that's how much I'm gonna tell you that I'll miss you. I'll miss you if you go. Yes, I'm gonna let you know just how much I tell you, mama. I tell you, papa, too. I'm gonna let everyone know about my love, so I really hope you love me too. Yeah, I really hope you love me too. I'm gonna tell you that I need you. I need you every day. You'll get weary of my touch, that's how much I'm gonna tell you that I want you. I wanna let you know, oh, you're the only one for me, no one else. I'm gonna shout it out, yeah, up on the mountaintop. I'm gonna let everyone know about my love, so I really hope you love me too. Yeah, I really hope you love me too. Oh, there's something deep inside, yeah, that really makes me wanna speak my mind, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna show you that I love you 100 times a day. You'll get tired of my lips, and that's how much they wanna kiss you and caress you and love you till my dying day. You're the only one I need, no one else. I tell your friends, I tell your family, I'm gonna let everyone know about my love, so I really hope you love me too. Yeah, 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 I really hope you love me too.
I know what you want because I want it too. You want to be more flexible, more mobile, and more alive. And those are good things. And you also want to be less stiff, less sore, less old feeling. All right, let's let this process work its magic and let all those things come true. Hi, I'm Jan. This is 316 Yoga. This is your 1 hour yoga from home. Today, it's all down on the mat. We're not doing any balancing. You're not getting up. You're just staying down here, which is good. But whatever you do in your practice, as the bottom of the screen says, do what is right for your body. Your one and only temple, your one and only body, your one and only perfect body, just the way it is. Don't hurt it. If a pose doesn't feel right, don't do it. Come out of it. Take it to a lesser percentage. Give it a little bit of a try, but don't overstress yourself. Do what's right. Every day our practices are different. We do vinyasa, we do restorative, we do yoga plus to include bar and Pilates and weights. It's all different. Find what works for you. Just try a little bit each day. If you can only stick around for 10 minutes, that's fine too. But just tell yourself you can do this because you can do this and you should do this. All right, here's a word to think about as you practice today. It's a perfect word. It's a wonderful word. The word is revive. Come back to life. Relive, revive. Come back to life. It means to renew, to restore, to bring something back, to activate, to set into motion, and to take up again. So maybe at one point, you didn't even think about your knees at one point. You didn't even think about your shoulders at one point in your life, but maybe lately they're talking to you. Your yoga will help alleviate the tightness, the stress, the pressure, all that stuff. Your yoga will help. All right, so grab some props. The props we're going to use today are our usual props, the 2 yoga blocks. I like to have a little towel handy. It's nice to slip under your knees if your knees don't feel so good on the mat. You can also cover your eyes with it. You can use the towel to lengthen your arms. It's great. You can have your strap if you want, and definitely have some water nearby. You're going to want that. Place your mat out. Maybe you don't even have a mat yet. Put a towel down. Get comfortable. Realize this is your space, your time. One of the first things we always do in a practice is lock in a stress number. On a scale of 1 to 5, 1 to 10, whatever you like. Where are you? Where are you on that scale? Remember that number. Don't overthink it. We're going to come back to it in a little bit, and you'll just see how the yoga brings down the stress. All right, you're seated. That's where we're going to start. You can sit any way you like on the mat. I'm seated in a pose called Thunderbolt. For Thunderbolt, your knees are deeply bent, tops of your feet are on your mat, and you sit back on your heels. You can sit crisscross applesauce, as the kids used to say, with your legs crisscrossed. You could sit in that Sukhasana pose if you like that. Sit any way you like. Maybe your legs are long. Maybe you're seated in a chair. See, I told you, don't sweat it. Just be here, do what you can. First thing we're going to do is we're going to lift our arms up to the sky. Think extended mountain arms. Now, I don't know how your shoulders feel. Maybe a little bend in them feels good, or maybe you reach nice and long and high and up to the sky. Take a deep breath in, maybe close your eyes, and a deep breath out through your nose. In through the nose, I said that wrong. In through the nose and out through the mouth. See, I told you it's live. No cuts, no takes. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Sigh it out audibly. Now start to climb up to the sky. I know you can't see my hands, but go ahead and climb up, up, palms are face in. There we go. And then reach. Just feel the goodness in your shoulders. No rush, no hurry. Feel what you feel. Nice big stretch. All right, now come to stillness. Reach both arms up high to the sky, and then bring your palms like to the front of the room. With your palms to the front of the room, do the same thing. Climb, like your hands are like little suction cups on the wall in front of you. Reach, stretch through your shoulders. Let it feel super good. Your arms are strong. Your shoulders are strong. Keep them that way. Put life back into them. And in all of the poses we do, I ask that you let go of saying things like, oh, I should do it this way, or I should do it that way, or oh, I just can't. I gotta do more. Oh, I should do this. Let go of that. You do exactly what you can with what you've got here today, and that's plenty good. All right, let's switch our hands again so the palms are in, and just feel the little subtle difference in your shoulders. All right, now let's tee out the arms. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And let's draw some arm circles to the sides of the room. Little arm circles, bigger circles, you decide. Reverse the direction of your circles, maybe going from big to smaller. And remember the other day we did this with our arms. Bring your arms forward parallel to each other, and then let one arm go back like you're swimming the backstroke. And just swim the backstroke. Get into the shoulders. And if it doesn't feel good, slow it down, bend the arms, take it a little easier. It doesn't matter how it looks. It just matters how it feels, and let it feel good. Stretching feels so good. That's why our dogs and cats do it so much. All right. Let's finish here. Come back to arms down by your sides. Take a big breath in. A big sighing breath out. Let your arms slide forward. You can put your hands in front of your knees. You could use a block if you want. I don't know that it helps that much in this case, but you can slide the block forward and just stretch it out. So your knees perhaps are together if you're in Thunderbolt. However you are, just reach forward. Maybe your legs are straight in front of you. You're just reaching forward. Breathe in, sigh it out. Bring the arms back up, shoulders over your hips, and then let's go from side to side. So what you're going to do is place one hand down on the mat or onto your block. The block brings the ground up to you. Lift the opposite arm and let's move sideways. That arm that's lifted, let it cross over the midline of your body, and that arm that's down, that's your foundational arm, think of it as an elevator. Bend the elbow a little or a lot. Chin is away from your chest, and your top shoulder, bring it back. Bring it to the back wall. And you play with this in the elbow of the foundational arm. You want to feel a giant stretch along the left side of your body. Oh, and here's a benefit too. If you're seated in your Thunderbolt pose like I am, your heels kind of give your bottom a massage. Kind of nice. Breathe. And you know what? No magic about the block. Maybe you want to remove the block. That's fine. You just make the props work for you. So as you're stretching here, just feel the intensity of the stretch between the ribs. You don't even think of all those muscles, the intercostal muscles between your ribs, but they're there working hard. Breathe. Nice big stretch. Maybe eyes closed. Slowly come back up. Slowly, take it slowly. Come back up to the midline of your body. Place the block perhaps on the other side. Lift both arms up to the sky. Breathe in. And sigh it out. Other arm comes down to the other side onto the block or to the ground. Top arm goes across the midline of your body and stretch it out. Oh, this is fun. Okay, all right, so Dwayne just showed me some of you that are here and the temperatures of where you're at. All right, here's the deal. Keep working that elbow, keep stretching it out. Oh my gosh, let's see. Here in Florida, I think it's probably in the 50s today. That sounds about right. 60? Oh, 46. 46 in southern Florida. How crazy is that? Keep stretching. All right, so Marietta, 14 degrees. Lori, 13. Diane, 17. Stan, 14. Liz, 26. 26, balmy. Oh, Lynn, 14. Suzette, oh my gosh, what's the temperature where you are? All right, but the temperature inside is warm, right? Bring your shoulder back, arm stretches. That elbow is helping you stretch here. Don't sweat it. Take your time and just enjoy the movement. All right, so what's going on in your jaws? Are your teeth clenched? Try to unclench your jaws. Put a smile on your face. Can't clench your jaws and smile at the same time, unless it's a really nasty smile. Breathe, stretch. All right, let's slowly come back to center. How does that feel? Arms lift up high to decompress your spine. Breathe in. And exhale, shoulders come down and stretch. Reach forward, walk your hands forward. As you inhale, come on back, shoulders over your hips. Take your hands down by your sides. Maybe even use the blocks to bring the ground up a little bit if you want. And lift your chest up to the sky as you take this little baby back bend. Blocks feel kind of nice here in their stable position, but you decide how you want to do it. Maybe you take it farther, bringing the hands down and the chest lifts. Just move. Create space in your chest like we do when we do a fish pose. You know, create space in your chest to allow you to breathe. All right, let's come back up. Let's work on the neck a little bit. All right, so shoulders are over your hips. All right, so neck work. Just start to turn your neck, your head from side to side, left to right. Just breathe, sigh it out, let the trouble go. See, you can do yoga. You do it your way, and you make it work for you. And already, I bet, if you were to think back to that stress number, I bet it's coming down already. You feel good when you move. So why do we not move more? It's kind of the conundrum. All right, but here, think about this. Keep turning your head, left, right, let it feel good. Keep your shoulders down. We need to keep moving so we can keep moving. It's pretty deep, right? You gotta keep moving so you can keep moving. If you stop moving, they'll reach a point where you can't move anymore. So you gotta move. You've got to move. All right, come back, head to the midline of your body. Let's do some neck circles if they feel good. Just let your neck roll around on your shoulders, right, left, up, down. You know, just move your head around if that's comfortable. Not comfortable for everybody. I know, Mary Jo, you say that it gives you vertigo. So if it gives you vertigo, either don't do it to a lesser intensity, or, you know, really keep your eyes open. So you decide how this feels for you and how deep you want to take it. All right, neck circles, head's moving around. Work out those crunchies. They're fine as long as they don't hurt. All right, head back to the midline of your body. Look to the left. Take your left hand, your two peace fingers, place them on the outside of the right jaw. Take a twist, and using these gentle fingers, encourage the twist to go even farther. Take it to the other side. Turn your head to the right. Take your right fingers, put them on the jaw, and gently encourage the head to move a little more to the right. And go back and forth a couple of times. Using the peace fingers on the jaw. Turn left, turn right. Gentle nudge. That nudge makes a difference, doesn't it? Sometimes that's all we need, that little nudge. All right, come back to your head at the midline of your body. Both arms go up to the sky. Take a deep breath in. And a deep softening breath out. Let your right hand float down. Take the left arm, place it over your head. Take your fingers of your left hand and touch the top of your right ear. And let your left ear work itself to your shoulder. Using the hand with a gentle bit of pressure, kind of like you did with the peace fingers on the nudge. Just let the hand pull the head down a little bit. Soften in the opposite shoulder, in the right shoulder. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Hang out here for a second or two. You're still breathing into the nose and out through the mouth. All right, here's something else to think about. As we have the blessing to celebrate more and more birthdays, also getting older, but let's say the blessing of celebrating more and more birthdays. Don't slow down. You shouldn't slow down. You should be moving more. And why not? Create the time in your busy schedule to move more. You'd worked 40 hours a week. Maybe you're working less now. Fill that other time with exercise and movement. All right, let's slowly remove the hand from the head. Bring the head back to the midline. Do the other side. Lift both arms up. Stretch. Float your left arm down. Take your right arm. Bend it over the top of your head. Find your left ear. And with your right arm, encourage your right ear to your right shoulder as your right hand is touching your left ear. Soften in the single shoulder, the left shoulder, and breathe. Eyes closed or open. Your neck mobility is so important. Breathe in, breathe out. Oh, I promise you, we're going to intensify the pose. Not the pose, we're going to intensify the practice. You're going to do a good long plank in a little bit. We got a little variation that is a real challenge. But you're up to it. You're up to it. Because you're going to modify it to make it work for you. All right, remove your hand. Slowly float your head back on up to the midline. Hands down to your knees. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Ooh, let's come out of this pose. My ankles are feeling it. Let's come into a child's pose. All right, child's pose is where you just think for a moment. You can take your two blocks, bring them to the top of your mat if you have them. If you don't have them, don't sweat it. You can have your knees together. You can have your hips back to your heels. You can have your arms down by your sides. You can bring your forehead down to a block or to your mat and take your classic child's pose. I'm going to take a wide-legged child's pose on these blocks. Knees spread wide, big toes touch, hips sink back to the heels. The blocks are at the top of the mat at a stable height. That's the one I like. Maybe you want to switch it and take it to a different height. It's up to you. Maybe I'll try that. And then come on down. Bring your chest, your forehead down to your mat. Maybe widen the blocks if that feels better. Bring your head down to rest on your mat. Stretch it out in your shoulders. Oh boy, aren't you glad we did the backstroke a little while ago? All right, this is really intense at this high height. You can change it. You can lower the height of your blocks. Totally fine, easy to do, real quick and easy here. Lower them to a lower height. You have several others. Use the option that feels right for you. Or no blocks at all. You can just reach your arms long to the top of your mat. Or put a bend in your elbows if that feels better. You know what your shoulders need today. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Now's the time to engage what's called your Ujjayi Pranayama breath if you want to do that. To do that, you will close your lips and breathe in and out of your nose only. It's the most efficient way to breathe. Using the nose to filter the air, taking deep, deep breaths, softening in your jaws, and just breathe any way you like, but notice how the depth of the breath affects the feeling in your body in the poses. This child's pose is a good one. As you take a big full exhale, you feel like you can send your tailbone further to the back of the room, and you feel that your spine is getting longer. As you inhale, maybe you feel your spine lengthening through the crown of your head, and you feel that your back, your lungs widen to the sides of the room. Just feel the power of the breath inside. Child's pose is a pose you can come back to anytime you want, or you can stay here. Maybe you stay here and work on changing the height of those blocks for your arms. Maybe that's speaking to you today. You have to listen to your body and do what feels good. Make the practice work for you. All right, this is your child's pose. Like I said, come back to it anytime you want, but right now I'm going to come out of it and I am going to go into the toes pose and ankle pose. How do you feel in your shoulders if you've come out of it? All right, what I'm going to do now, the ankle pose, toes pose, come to standing on your knees. You could take your block and place it behind your heels as you tuck your toes to your shins. You can just have a seat here if that feels like the pose you want to take today. Big stretch in the feet, big stretch in the fascia in the feet. How do you like it? It's intense. If it hurts, maybe hinge forward a little bit, take the weight out. If it's just uncomfortable, breathe through it. You can do this. All right, I'm going to place the blocks down by my side. I'm going to sit back on my heels. I'm just going to rest here for a little bit, feel that depth of the stretch, and just let it go. Just let all things go. Don't sweat it. Don't worry about it. Just feel what you feel in your body. Take it to an ankle pose. I'm going to bring my feet so the tops of my feet are on my mat. I'm going to bring my blocks back. I'm going to sit back up on my feet, tops of my feet, and I'm going to let my knees come up. Use the blocks, as just a little reference point, a little stability. It's all good. Or maybe you decide to not use the blocks. You could use your hands. And I'll show you how to do that when I go back to that ankle pose. From toes pose to ankle pose, you can use your hands, put them down, kickstand, lift your feet up, lift your knees up. And go back and forth a few times. Hands to prayer center, sitting back on the heels, feeling the deep stretch there. Don't hold back. We tend to hold on in our minds, keeping things tight, the shoulders tight, the hips tight, the feet tight. Think of letting go in the feet. And then I'm going to come back to my ankle pose. And I'm going to find some balance here without the blocks. Keeping my hands at prayer center, maybe kick it up a notch and really try to balance by trying to close your eyes and see how that goes for you. You just got to play with it a little bit, see what feels good, see what feels right. All right, toes, ankles, oh my goodness, feels terrific. Let's come back to a neutral tabletop. Lift your feet up, squeeze and scrunch your toes, circle your ankles around and around, whatever directions feel good, and then tap the tops of your feet out on your mat. Let's come down to a reclined position. Let's go into pentacle. Yay, a great pose. Everybody loves pentacle. The biggest thing here, I will say, is enjoy the journey. Float on down. Just enjoy how good that feels to come to recline on your back. Spread your legs pretty wide. Maybe even take them off the edges of the mat. Lift your arms up overhead and spread your arms wide so you bring your body into the shape of a capital letter X. Now, how does it feel in your shoulders? If it's not feeling so great, think of a snow angel and just let your arms drift down a little bit by your sides. You don't want to hurt, so your shoulders should be plugged in, backs of your hands plugged into the earth, heels plugged into the earth, and pinky toes opening toward the earth. Breathe in, and breathe out. Maybe you sigh it out, and then go back to your Ujjayi Pranayama breath. Soften in your jaws, soften the area between your eyebrows. This is a great resetting pose. Your pentacle pose just kind of brings everything back to the midline. and you just let things go. All right, let's play with this a little bit. You can stay in your pentacle. You can always stay in whatever works for you, but I'm going to work all my 4 limbs back to the midline of my body, bringing the legs together and the arms together overhead, palms touching. You can probably keep your eyes closed here, and I'll just talk you through. All right, so this is called stick pose. Reach through your fingers a little more so your biceps are going to come up near your ears. Point through your toes a little bit and just feel the depth of this nice straight stretch. You look like a big giant number 1. All right, let's take this pose to a banana asana pose. Silly name, but a great pose. Picture a banana and you know where we're going. Work both heels to the bottom right corner of your mat. Take your arms, which are still lifted high in that stick pose, and let them work to the top right corner of your mat. As you do this, keep your left shoulder down, that's the challenging part, and keep your left hip down also. So you're curving. If one were to look down upon you, you'd look like a banana. And bananas have lots of different shapes. And you just bend to what feels right. And keep that hip down, the left hip, and keep the left shoulder down. We can intensify it in several ways. We can take the left leg, lift it up, and cross over the ankle. So that kind of makes the adductor muscle on the abductor muscle on the outside of your leg feel the stretch a little bit more. Perhaps take your right hand and capture your left wrist and give it a little gentle tug. I think that really intensifies the pose. Seems like a little bit of effort, seems like not much to just grab the wrist and give it a pull, but I think it really intensifies the stretch in the shoulder. So here's your banana asana pose to its fullest expression. How do you like it? Maybe you pull the shoulder a little bit more, or not. You can release it. And when you're ready, let's all release it. Release the wrist, palms touch, release the ankle. Slowly work everything you got back to the midline. Time for that number 1 acknowledgement. Reach through your fingers, point through your toes, stick pose. Now let's take banana asana to the other side. Heels to the bottom left corner of your mat. Arms work together to the top left corner of your mat, keeping the right shoulder down. The right hip stays down. You don't want to roll over onto the hip. Keep it down. You get the most benefit out of the pose. Left hand grabs the right wrist and gives it a gentle tug. Right leg lifts up and crosses. Keeping the right hip down. Keeping your breath nice and solid. Deep breaths in, deep breaths out. Left arm tugs that right wrist a little bit more. Or not. All just options. Just because they're offered doesn't mean you have to take them. Practice resistance. Practice just doing what is right. Don't feel that you have to take it all. Less is more. Remember, we talked about that. That's my word for the year, less. Less in everything. Less stress, less worry, less stuff. All right, let's come out of your banana asana. Let the arms go, let the legs go. Come back to the midline of your body. Stretch it out. Come back to that stick pose. You're an expert at it now. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let your arms float down by your sides. Oh, it's time for them to come down. They've been lifted a lot. All right, bend your right knee. Take your hands, or remember how I said your towel can serve as like longer arms? Bend your right knee and bring the towel under your right knee. Have your left leg long. Have your toes of the left leg drawn toward the shin so your heel is on the mat and you can feel your calf on the mat. Nice and straight leg. Hug the right knee in using the towel or no towel at all. Hug it in. Circle your ankle one way or the other. One way and the other. Little word. Big difference. Do it in both directions. All right, let's do our supine twist here early on because we love it. Take the left hand on the right knee. Guide the knee across the midline of the body. Roll onto your left hip. Right arm tees out and you look to the right. Hold it here. Now you're holding onto the knee, encouraging it toward the ground. Doesn't have to touch the ground, but just encourage it a little bit more. Big thing here is that right shoulder. Keep it down. Having the arm teed out helps because the weight, gravity helps keep the shoulder down. Twist your neck a little bit more. Breathe. Couple breaths to really feel the goodness of this pose. Slowly bring the both bottom cheeks down to your mat. Hug the right knee in again. Hug it in good and tight. How tight can you pull it? Hold on. Release the right leg long. Repeat on the other side. Right leg is long, right toes to the shin to keep the right calf down. Left knee lifts toward the chest, interlaced fingers, or use your towel to hug the left knee in. Keep your elbows hugged in as well. Hug it in, squeeze it in, then circle your ankles to the right and to the left. Maybe you like doing it one side more than the other. But you know what? You need to work on the side that you don't like. Hug it in, still the ankle. If you ever see that imbalance in the body, right? Imbalance you don't want. You work on the weaker side to make the weaker side stronger. Right hand captures the left knee. Work it across the midline of the body. You're rolling onto the right hip. Encourage the knee toward the earth. It doesn't have to touch. Left arm tees out to help keep the shoulder down, and then turn your head to the left. Deep breaths. And then finish. Bring your left bottom cheek down. Interlaced fingers again. Circle the ankles again, this way and that. Now hug the knee in good and tight. Hug it in super tight. Your hips are really flexible and mobile. We do that half pigeon pose or sleeping swan pose on Thursdays and Sundays. And in that pose, think of how your knee is tucked up, up, up. You're stretching it out really good. Enjoy it. All right, let's release the leg. Let's come on up to seated. Use your hands if you want to, or no hands at all. Come on up to seated. Take a drink of water, because the next one's a real challenge. All right. Well, it's a foreshadowing of a real challenge to come. All right, so grab a drink. How are we doing time-wise? We're doing well. All right. Here's what you're going to do. Neutral tabletop. You know this one. All right, in a neutral tabletop, you want your shoulders over your wrists, your knees underneath your hips. Press hard, everything you got into the mat. Press hard, lengthen through your spine. You feel like your spine is really long, really straight. Excellent. All right, what we're going to do now is we are going to tuck our feet toward our shins, and you're going to lift your knees up a little bit, bear plank. Then you're going to bring them down. Lift them and lower them. Lift them and lower them. We'll do this about 10 times. Or however many times feel right for you. Everybody's different. Lift and lower, keeping your shoulders over your wrist. I think we're at about 6 or 7 right about now. Lift and lower, and just feel that sensation of bringing them up and bringing them down. Bringing them up and bringing them down. One more time, bringing them up and bringing them down. All right, just remember that. All right, let's do cat-cow. All right, same position, neutral tabletop. Tuck your chin to your chest, tuck your tailbone under, arch your back up to the sky. Inhale, cow pose. Just flip it around. Crown of the head and tailbone lift. A few cat-cows, or maybe even more than that. Maybe you say, I'm going to go from a child's pose to doing cat-cows to final shavasana. That's my practice today. 4 little poses. You got it going on. Enjoy. Whatever you do, it's good as long as you're moving and you're not hurting. All right. Come back to a neutral tabletop. Extend the right leg long. Push the ball of the foot into your mat. Feel the nice stretch up the calf. You feel it in your Achilles tendon. You feel it in the calf. You feel it all the way up into that hip. Lift the right leg now, cross the midline of your body, squeeze high in the upper inner thighs, place the ball of the foot down on the opposite side, the left side of your body. Turn your head, look over your left shoulder. Turn it even more, look back to see that foot, your knee, or even your bottom. Sweep that extended right leg around, sweep it around, bring it to about hip height or whatever. Place the foot down, lift the arm up, look up, twist up, look up. Chest is open, chest is full. Breathe. Plant the hand down. Bring the right leg back to meet the left, other side. Left leg extends, ball of the foot pushes into the earth. Feel that wonderful stretch up the back left leg. Cross the midline of the body, squeeze high in your upper inner thighs, push equal weight into your hands, and then look over your right shoulder. Look back to your foot, your knee, your bottom. Sweep the left foot around, bring it to about hip height, place the foot down, lift the left arm up and twist. Look up towards your hands because you can. All that little motion helps. You're doing it on your mat, so you can do it off of your mat. That's where it really counts. Bring the arm down, bring the left foot back to meet the right, bird dog pose, a big balancing pose. If you're new to bird dog, bring the block to the top of your mat, maybe to a nice high height. Lift the right leg up, bring your knee to about hip height. Chances are you gotta bring it a little bit higher. Extend the right leg long and circle your ankle here. Right leg is extended, good and long. Maybe you feel more stable if you draw the toes towards your shins, or maybe you prefer to point the foot, up to you. I'm gonna take the left hand and extend it long. I'm gonna reach for that block. Hold it here, if this feels right, or no block at all. Reach your arm long and strong to the front of the mat. Push hard into your foundational limbs. Hold it here, breathe. You got it. Hold it nice and stable, nice and strong. So remember that crouching tiger pose we did where we lifted about 10 times? Now you're doing bird dog. Kind of remember this. We're going to combine them in a little bit. Hand comes down, knee meets knee. Let's do the other side. Left leg lifts, knee to hip height. Left leg extends. Point or flex your toes, whatever feels right. You feel the compression in your low back here with the leg extended. Right arm reaches. You can hold on to the block or no block at all. Push into the earth. Don't let your belly sag. Push, reach, stay strong, be strong. You gotta try. You gotta try. Nobody faults you for trying, and you're doing way better than you think you are. We are also self-critical. Stop with the criticism. You're rocking the pose. Hold it. And then come back. Hand comes down, knee comes down, you did it. All right, now here's where it comes in. Come out of this for a second. Just kind of move your hands, get to blood flowing back into your wrists so you feel comfortable. We're gonna combine, in a way, that tabletop and bird dog. So I'll explain it and we'll talk through it. It's a big pose. It's a big balancing challenge. It takes real massive strength in your core, but you're up for it. Let's give it a go. All right. Neutral tabletop. Extend your right leg long. Place the ball of your foot on your mat. Press into your hands. Draw your left toes toward your shin as well, but you're still on that left knee. Let's pop on up on that left knee. Pop on up and then come on down. Lift it on up and hold it. Bring it on down. We're going to add something else here. See if you like it. Try it if you want. Lift the left knee up. You've been here. Now lift the right leg up. It's extended. Hold it. Push into the earth. You got it. Stay strong. And then let's come down. Knee comes down, foot comes down. Bring the knees back to meet. You're back to your neutral tabletop. Take a breath here. Appreciate lengthening through your spine. Extend your left leg long. Plant the ball of the foot down on your mat. Hold it here, nice and stable. You know where we're going. Tuck your right toes toward your shin. When you're ready, lift and lower in the right knee. A couple times. Maybe that's all you want to do. Totally fine. Lift that knee up and extend the back left leg. Breathe, hold it. Embrace the shake. And then come on down. Knee comes down, knee meets knee, neutral tabletop, cat-cow pose. Chin to your chest, tailbone tucks. Inhale, cow, extend it up to the sky. All right, let that go. How did you do? It's a challenge, isn't it? But we're gonna do even more of a challenge. We're gonna do that 1 minute plank again. Oh my goodness, all of this core stuff. It's good. You make it work for you, you take it in layers. Plank pose, you do it your way. We're gonna set a 1-minute timer. You can time yourself if you want, or not at all. Here's the deal. You can fully recline on your back, push your blocks up to the sky, and imagine that the ceiling is your mat. So a 180-degree flip. If you're new to planking, go for it. You could also stand next to a wall. Press your hands into a wall and step back. If you want to stand up, it's up to you. And then just press the weight into your arms. Another variation that you could take, which I'll show you now, is from that neutral tabletop, hinge forward. And how are your wrists doing? If it gets to your wrists after a while, ball your hands into fists, fold your mat over a couple of times, and press into it with the extra padding, or put a towel under your mat. Or you can always drop to your forearms and do your plank there. So here's the first one. Knees can be spread, hinge forward, weight into the arms, and stay here. You could drop to your forearms if that feels better. When you do that, you want to have your elbows under your shoulders for stability, pressing your forearms into your mat. You can stay on your knees, send them back a little bit, just hinging the weight forward, feeling the strength in your core and your upper body. Draw your toes towards your shins, prop on up, and take a dolphin plank. And lastly, the other option is a high plank, and that's what I'm gonna do. In a high plank, you want your shoulders over your wrists as always, and your feet hip-width distance apart. Let's go into your variation of plank now, or maybe you've already been there and you're really doing it, and start a timer. Here we go, 1 minute. Press into your hands, press into your feet. Now there's a little bit of a Pilates pose here you can take. You can send your heels back in kind of a sawing plank. See how you like that. So not too much movement in the shoulders, because you want to keep those shoulders over the wrist. How are we doing time-wise? We're 20 seconds in. All right, so I'm going to stabilize my plank. I'm going to push nice and still, push into the earth, and hold here. Options, you know, if you want to take an option, you could drop to your knees and take a breath or two, then pop back up. Hold it here. We got 20 seconds to go. Always a fine option to send your hips high in a down dog. Breathe. Get back into it though. Fingers are spread wide, lengthening through the crown of your head, holding it here for less than 10 seconds. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're done. Come on down. How did you do? However long you took, good on you. Maybe you took longer than the minute. Maybe you took less. It doesn't matter. Nobody's judging you. All right, let's surf. Let's get into the hips. Take your 2 blocks. Press your blocks into your mat. Bring right foot forward, right knee over right ankle. Left leg goes long on your mat. Come on back up. And when you're ready, let's lift our arms. Could you move that sign, please, Dwayne? Lift your arms up high to the sky. Breathe. Breathe here in your variation of your lunge. So you're down on your knee. Maybe you put a towel under your back knee. Maybe you reach your fingers a little more to the back of the room. Maybe you bring your hands back to purse center and your shoulders are back over your hips. And you want to go surfing. That sounds good. Place your hands on your blocks. Start to straighten your right leg and bend it. Using the blocks, like we did in toes pose, you can walk them on back, have a seat on your heel, walk them on forward, and just bend that knee. So you're generously bending the right knee, and that left knee's getting a workout too. Using your blocks, or we did so much with the core today, maybe you can ditch the blocks, bring your hands to prayer center, and surf it here. How does that feel? Let's finish with shoulders over your hips and switching out the legs. Knees meet on the mat, and then they switch position. Left foot comes forward, knee over ankle, pressing into the blocks, and then taking a moment, because it's important to get that right leg strong and solid and straight, because that's where you're feeling the stretch in your right hip flexor. Maybe you stay right here. Maybe that hip flexor is so tight. You're going to stay right here with the hands on the blocks. Now the hip flexors, think about them. They're what flex your hips to let you go up and down steps, to help you walk. But up and down steps is the big thing. If you think about the lengthening and the shortening of your hip flexor right here in your hips, what do we do most of the time? We're sitting. That's compressed. You want to stretch it out like you do in this pose to allow you greater mobility and flexibility. Because remember, that's what you want, right? All right, so I'm going to bring my shoulders over my hips. Maybe the arms come up. Maybe a little back bend. Maybe hands back to prayer center. Maybe you're still in that back bend. It's all good. You're taking this at your pace, doing it exactly your way. Hands back to the blocks whenever you're ready. Start to surf. Straighten that left leg. Bringing the bottom back towards your heels, and then taking that knee forward. Use your blocks. Nothing wrong with using the blocks. The blocks are wonderful. The blocks are a blessing. Breathe. Wasn't that a cute saying? How many, the blessings. We have that blessing to celebrate more and more birthdays. That's a good thing. All right, I'm gonna ditch the blocks and drift back and forth. And you know your knees. I don't know how your knees are and your hips and all that. Check with your doctor. But the more you move them, the better they feel. I think that's a general truth. All right, so we've surfed it out multiple times. Let's let that go. Let's come on down to a boat pose. So come to your bottom. You could use your strap here if you want. Sometimes we do that. All right, there's a saying too, it's peace begins where expectation ends. So don't expect anything out of this pose. Just take it easy. Don't sweat it and see what happens. Legs are long. I'm gonna sit on back. I'm gonna lean on back, take it nice and slowly. Work your hands back and work onto your forearms. Stay lifted right here. Maybe lift your feet up. Breathe. Stay here, lift your legs a little more. We're taking our boat pose on our forearms here. Now, if it's just not in you today to lift both legs, lift up one. Hold it. Bring it on down. Lift up the other one. Hold it, however long, and float it on down. I'm going to lift both legs up. Breathe. I'm going to push on up, but I'm going to keep my shoulders back to find some imbalance here. And a good imbalance. I'm finding my balance. Hold it here. Arms reach forward. Hands can be under your knees, or you can just reach or lift your arms up to the sky, and then finish. Legs drift down because you are in control. Take a forward fold. Grab towards your ankles. Hug your elbows in. Reach your nose, your forehead, your chin toward your knees. Big breath in and big breath out. Come on up, shoulders over your hips. You know where we go after we do this double leg extension. We're going to take our legs and spread them wide into that wide-legged forward fold. Bring your two blocks between your legs. Put them at whatever height is perfect for you today. I'm going to send my legs even wider, and then bring your forearms down to your block. However you want to set it up. Or maybe you prefer to bring your forehead to the block. It's all good. Play with the height of your blocks. All right, so abductor muscles are on the outside. Think about your IT band. Those are the abductor muscles. The ones that pull your legs in are your adductor muscles. Nice big stretch here in those adductors. Your feet, don't neglect them. Let's draw the toes towards the shin. Strengthen the legs. All right, this wide-legged forward fold supported by our blocks. Adjust your blocks to whatever height you like. We're not going to stay here much longer. But if this is feeling super good and you want to stay. Or if you want to come back, I hope you want to come back to a restorative practice. Tomorrow, Sunday, Thursday, we do restorative, where we will hold this pose for a longer period of time. And the remarkable thing about that, as this pose works its magic, you can get lower and lower and lower the longer you stay in it. And you'll see the progress within a few minutes. All right, so let's let this go. Bring your legs back to the midline of your body. Let's crisscross our legs. Well, legs are extended, crisscross at the ankles, and then hinge forward. Nose toward your knee. Come on back up, shoulders over hips, crisscross the other the other ankle over, and then hinge forward. Come on back up, shoulders over your hips. Let's crisscross the legs by bending the knees. All right, so think of a fire log pose. So fire log, I think of the shins stacked on top of each other. So I'm gonna bend one leg, keeping the knee down or using that block to support it. Bringing the other leg up, help it out, help a friend out. And then let the shins rest on top of each other. The low part of your leg rest on top of each other. So maybe a nice little straight line. Maybe push that top knee down a little bit, not a lot, to just get into this feeling here in this fire log pose. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Soften in the hips. Let's switch it out. Switch out the legs. The one that was on top, put it on the bottom. And then the one that was on the bottom, where can it go? It goes on top. All right, so parallel, low leg, hand can press that top leg down just a smidge. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Let's come out of this pose. That's intense in the hips, isn't it? Let's be kind to the hips. Let's unwind, come into bridge pose. Plant the soles of your feet on your mat. Hands to prayer center, tell yourself something good about you, and then recline. As you recline, maybe grab your eye shade and your towel, put it up near your shoulders. Fully reclined, let's go into bridge pose. Arms down by your sides, palms face down. Soles of your feet, hike them up near your bottom. And when you're ready, push the weight into your feet and lift your hips up. It just feels like, here's what you should do next, and that's tuck your shoulders underneath your back. Lift your hips even higher, push your hips high up to the sky. Stretch out both those hip flexors at the same time, pushing hard into your feet. Breathe in, breathe out. Interlace your fingers behind your low back. If that works for your shoulders, push your pinkies into the mat, lift a little higher. Then release your arms down by your side if you took that option. Release your spine down one vertebra at a time. You got it going on. Now let's tee out our arms. Palms face down. Spread your feet a little bit wider, maybe bringing them to about the edges of your mat. You can feel that without looking. Let your knees fall to the right. This is called a reclined deer pose. And then send your gaze to the left. Float your knees back up as your gaze goes up to the sky, and then let your knees drop to the left side. Both knees are dropping at the same time. Turn your gaze in the direction opposite to which your knees are falling. Diagram that sentence, Linda. All right, come on up. Let them float to the other side as you look to the opposite side. Inhale back up to center. Exhale down to the other side. Remember that little nudge we gave our chin to make our neck turn a little more? And remember the little nudge that we gave our wrists when we pulled it in Banana Asana? Here's another little nudge. Bring your knees back up to the sky. Chin goes up too. Let your knees float down to the right side. So both knees are bent to the right side of your body. Lift your right ankle up. It's pretty okay to do. I mean, it's fairly easy. Lift it up and then let the outside of the right ankle rest on the outside of the left knee. Encourage that knee down a little bit. Turn your head to the left. And feel how this intensifies in your left hip. Crazy, isn't it? It's all connected. Chin back up to center. Release the ankle off of that knee. Knees go back up to the center. Let's try it on the other side. Fresh start, restart, recalibrate. Let your knees drop to the left side of your body. Lift up your left leg, taking the outside of the left ankle and placing it on the low thigh near the knee of the right leg. Encourage that knee down. Look to the right and feel the intensity of the stretch in the right hip. Breathe. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let it go. Release the leg. Bring both legs back up to center. Toe heel your feet in, so your feet are kind of under your knees in line with your hips. Arms float down by your sides. Pop it on back up to another bridge pose. Tuck your shoulders under even more, and remember this feeling in the shoulders. Push into your feet, lift your hips high. Now roll your spine down, one vertebra at a time. Send your legs long. It's time for final Shavasana. Cover your eyes with your eye shade or your towel if you like. It really does feel nice to have the light blocked out, and it feels extra nice to have the weight of a little eye shade on your eyes. I'm gonna tuck my shoulders under again like I did for bridge pose, and then I'm gonna let my arms be down by my sides with my palms up. I'm gonna let my chin go up toward the sky as I rest in final Shavasana. Pinky toes fall to the earth. Limbs are heavy. My breathing is free and easy and full and complete. Breathe in. Breathe out. Soften in the eyebrows. Let the eyes rest heavily in the eye sockets. Remove the tongue from the roof of your mouth. And remember, the most efficient way to breathe is in and out of your nose. If you have your remote control handy, you can pause it now and you can enjoy your final Shavasana longer. And when you're ready to resume, just restart. We all need restarts, right? When you're ready to restart, big breath in. Big sighing breath out. Start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Circle your wrists and your ankles. Inhale, reach high overhead and stretch it out. Maybe point your toes and then draw your toes towards your shins. Just see how it feels. When you're ready, bend your knees, roll into a fetal position onto one side or the other. Enjoy the getting there. Feel how good it feels to roll onto that hip and shoulder. Low arm is bent, bicep is a pillow for your head, top shoulder relaxes. Breathe. When you're ready, drift on up to a comfortable seated position. Whatever feels good for you, however you want to sit. How do your hips feel now? Bring your hands to prayer center. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Gently blink your eyes open. Congratulations. Congratulations, you did it. You're a yogi. 1 hour of yoga. It served you well. Took a stress number. When we started, what was it? And now, what is it? It's a lot lower. You just feel better. The process worked its magic. And I bet that you're feeling better than when we first began. And that's what your yoga is all about. Live this magic off of your mat, and I'll see you back on your mats tomorrow. Tell your friends about our yoga. Have them join in. It's free. It's always free for anybody and everybody can do it. Love you guys. See you on your mats tomorrow. Bye-bye. Hey, you're still here, and I'm really glad for that. Keep this in mind. The path is made through repetition. Keep showing up, and good things will happen. You know that. I'm glad that you're still sticking around. Tell your friends what the yoga's doing for you. Our yoga is free for anybody and everybody on Facebook and YouTube, and they can join in anytime from the privacy of their own home. Tell them about our practice, please. If you'd like to support our broadcast, you can visit our website. It's www.316yoga.com. Stay on your path, enjoy your yoga, and have a great rest of your day. See you on your mats tomorrow.